All right, I'm
We
recording.
should.
Where are we doing an intro?
I don't know.
We keep saying we are.
Maybe
Yeah.
after this one's done.
Yeah.
Sure.
Fine.
Sure. Here's
So
our
it's-
intro.
This is coming in mid-conversation.
Welcome.
Nice, dude. Samuel L. Jackson. Oh, you know what? I just got a Dragon Ball Xenoverse like within this last week.
Oh, the
one I was telling you about?
Yeah, the one on Switch. I think it's like Xenoverse 2, but I really like it.
Oh, I thought.
it's fun, right, dude? It's a fun game.
Yeah, it's super dope. I haven't used any of like the regular characters. I've just been like messing with only my customizable character, and I made like a Frieza race, and I made him basically look like exactly like as much as Thanos as I could, like gold armor, like purple, and then I named him My Little Gumdrop.
That's what Thanos looks like.
So that's how being off weed has been for you?
How long have you not been smoking for now?
Probably Sunday.
Okay.
How's that?
Well, I also gave up caffeine too, like
Oh,
sodas, which has
shit.
been a major.
yeah.
Dude, that's hardcore, bro. You
Yeah,
went cold turkey.
I've been having like major headaches, but like,
Yeah.
like these last 2 days, it's been a lot better, and the dreams are fucking insane, dude.
Really? What
Dude,
happened?
Isn't that crazy? When you quit, like your dreams start getting weird, huh? Like, or do you feel like they're more like you remember them more, or not?
Yeah, they're
Yeah.
what's the word, like when they feel more real.
Vivid?
Yeah. more
Vivid.
vivid.
Yeah, they're very vivid. Like I'm just like fucking in it. Like last night I had one where I was like very intimate with like a girl that I like, and then
Nice.
and then in the same dream I fucking had another noise complaint, and like I was getting evicted. Like and I was like,
Jesus.
fuck.
Oh,
Dude,
shit.
it's a sign,
Oh,
bro.
dude.
It's a sign. We need to go get a spot.
It's a sign that I should be alone forever, never be intimate.
There you
Are
go.
you guys?
Yeah.
Wait. So you guys are gonna get a spot?
Oh, I don't know. We talked about it.
Yeah.
It'd be nice.
That'd be pretty rad, dude. I'm
We were
sure
saying
my-
like July, right?
What?
Like July.
Yeah, that's when my lease is up. So I'm thinking
Yeah.
like around that time. And I've
I
talked to my little bro about it. He's kind of down in.
I can.
Oh,
I
he
can
wants to
probably
go.
wait it out that long.
Who wants to go with you?
Yeah, I think because he just. I mean, my mom doesn't want him back at the house.
How do I say this in a nice way? My mom
just-
doesn't want him.
Period.
Period. Ever.
He's a piece of garbage.
I think it would be cool, dude. And Ivan was mentioning that he might want to join us, dude. We should get like a 4-bedroom and just have like a huge bachelor pad. It'd be sick.
What if we even think
Huge
bigger?
bed, like a huge bed that
We
we all.
could, honestly. That'd be fucking cool.
Look at Migel's stinky ass.
Do it.
Dude, like if you guys get a house, I'm down.
Let's do it.
That dude
That'd
got
be
that.
sick. Dude,
Could
'cause
be
you-
like-
the more people you have in a house, like obviously
What
the
are-
cheaper it is. Like the crazier to be, but fuck it, whatever. We're
it.
single young men.
Dude,
Like
isn't the fucking house where you live, Frank, empty?
next door is, yeah, but I'm trying to get out of San Dimas, not trying to stay here.
Where are you trying to go?
Like pretty much anywhere west of the 605, just to get me closer to LA. Really.
Pasadena, right?
I mean, there's a bunch of places I'm looking into, like Pasadena, like Eagle Rock.
Let's move to Long Beach, guys.
Highland Park is cool too. I
Dude,
thought about Long Beach.
Long Beach is cool, man.
It is
Me
cool.
neither.
It's just like
Me
it's
neither.
not getting me any closer to LA. So to me, it's like I'd rather just
What do you mean? It is closer to LA.
not from where I'm at. It's the same, pretty much the same distance.
Shut up, dude.
Shut up.
What is your argument? Shut up.
Nobody wants to move to Long Beach. Actually, it'd be
I
pretty
would if
cool.
I was a different point in my life. I fucking love the beach. I love being near the ocean.
I would love to be living near the beach too. It'd be sick.
Not like we can even fucking be at the beach right now, dude.
And
Yeah, that's true.
Tried telling the 20,000 people last weekend that were at fucking Huntington. Try telling them that.
You know, did you see like there's a guy that dresses the Grim Reaper that was protesting?
Oh, no way, really?
An attorney.
funny.
Like, he went down there dressed as the Grim Reaper. He was even on the news.
That's funny.
Protesting people being at the beach?
Yeah, he was just like fucking hanging out at the beach, like protesting. Like, which
It's kind of weird to protest the people that are protesting because, like, I mean, was that guy wearing a mask and like, you know what I mean? You're technically like doing what you don't want other people to do.
That sounds like a Monty Python skit. And then just like another like 3 protests going on.
Fucking awesome. That totally is a Monty Python skit.
Hey, speaking of skits, dude, Billy, would you ever play Kyle Reese? Like, would you ever play Johnny Knoxville playing Kyle Reese,
Who's Kyle Reese?
the guy from Terminator, from the first one?
Oh, the fucking guy that runs?
No, what?
Isn't that the guy that fucking runs like after the car and shit?
No,
think
that's
it's
that's
part two.
that's part 2. That's the T1000.
Who's Kyle Reese? Is it the kid?
He's the white
No.
dude, right?
Yeah,
In the
it's-
first one.
Yeah,
He's like the Terminator or the good guy in the first one,
yeah.
and Arnold's
Okay.
the bad guy.
So here's the premise, dude. I was watching Terminator, and I was thinking, like, if anyone came into our lives, like, yelling at you, like, dude, come on, let's go, let's get out of here. You're like, what the fuck? And you're just, like, doing your job, like, just, like, putting, like, papers in the fax machine and shit. Like, what the fuck is this guy doing, dude? Like, I can't. I'm at work right now. Like, there's no time.
That's what happened to Neo in the Matrix. He's fucking had a normal job and shit, and then like just somebody called him like, "Hey, get out now!" Like,
No,
Oh, I
dude,
love
but
that scene.
Kyle Reese's, like, energy's dialed to 10, like, all the time.
Well, that's
Like,
because it's also it was like the '90s too. Like I feel like all the old '90s movies are like they have to be a little over the top. Some of
well,
them.
I just thought it'd be funny to do like hey, I'm Johnny Knoxville when you're clearly not Johnny Knoxville, and then do like Kyle Reese like at somebody like.
I'm Johnny Knoxville, and I'm gonna save your life.
There you go.
Fucking
Oh.
love Jackass, dude.
Yeah,
Let's just have a day where we just do all the Jackass skits that have ever been done.
yeah, we could all be like
You're right.
characters.
We just, yeah.
I call Wee Man.
Yeah. All right, I got Steve-O.
Chris Pontius, dude. Chris Pontius.
There you go.
Pretty boy.
It's beautiful.
Someone's got to be banned.
Oh, yeah.
Could I be Preston Lacey too at the
There you
same
go.
time?
Preston.
You need that.
Is that the
Hey,
best
since we're on the record, who's your least favorite Jackass?
Like, I don't know.
I never thought about that.
It's a hard question.
That's what they're all pretty funny.
Danger Aaron.
I don't know. He was really fucking pretty good.
Who's
I
the guy? Who's the guy that comes out with a thong?
That's
Party Boy.
Steve-O, isn't
Party
it?
boy.
I was gonna say everybody. Oh yeah, that's Party Boy.
I actually never found it that funny.
But isn't that what's his name? Was that Bam or who was it?
That's
Chris
Chris Pontius.
Pontius.
That was Chris. Yeah, you're right.
Well, Pontius it's like a stick more, I think.
Yeah.
I think maybe Johnny Knoxville might have been my least favorite.
Is it super loud? I just moved outside.
Not like. No, I don't know, man.
Cool.
I don't know.
That reminds me, the guest for today, everybody, is Johnny Knoxville. Come on in. Hey, Ivan, you talking shit?
Talking shit, man. Oh.
Yes. Yes.
Wait, so what? I forgot. What is the subject today?
It's ghosts. Oh yeah.
Ghosts.
So
Yeah.
let's. You want to get into it?
Can we talk about ghosting too?
Nigel, is that Link fighting Darth Vader?
Yes, dude. But
What?
Link would get rocked, dude.
Yeah, he really would.
Yeah, he would get
Well,
Well, no, dude. Link has magic, dude.
think about it, like,
so
like
does Darth
Link's
Vader.
life works different than a normal human. He's got like
I don't know.
If you think of every heart is like a human life, he's got like fucking a million of those things.
No, I think Link would win.
Okay.
Oh, you just play devil's advocate now.
Yeah, sure.
He's got a fucking. Well, which Link are we talking about here?
I think this is the link from Twilight Princess.
Oh, he sucks. Yeah, he's get rocked.
But he's good. He's got all the fighting moves.
If you're talking about the hero of time from Ocarina of Majora's Mask, dude,
Oh shit! The guy's
he's got
That would fail like way hard, dude.
he's got fucking Fiori's wind, Din's fire, that other shit that Nairu's love. He's got fucking fire arrows, light arrows, ice arrows, and he's got the fierce deity mask. He shoots lasers out of his sword, dude.
Lasers!
How could you compete with that?
Darth
Sharks
Vader
with
was just fucking
freaking laser
thrown
beams
back
attached
at
to their heads.
We're having this discussion.
How do you make it? How do you make it to where it's like behind you? And I'm like,
I think it's the
It's
background.
gotta be.
Yeah, you got to in your settings when you choose virtual background. There's like an option to say like I have a green screen or I don't. But you can also click on something in your background to like kind of adjust to it.
You know what's weird is I'm walking around right now and I'm like in and out of like depths of field and it's not changing. It's weird.
I have a
Computer's
green.
the best.
Also, the Mac works fucking awesome. Like it does it automatically.
I was gonna say I think that's what it is. I didn't wanna
Perfectly.
bring it there, but
That was great as is, dude. I don't think
Yeah, I should just leave it.
oh, I'm so excited.
Oh, what's
right
that background? That's pretty cool. Oh.
Oh, that's
now.
a
Just you're normal.
I'm gonna pull up a ghost background.
It's gonna be like
Goes
the
back.
KKK.
Oh, that's
huh?
a good idea.
I bet you it's the KKK. You see that episode of South Park where like Cartman's like, "Oh, I'm a scary ghost."
Oh yeah.
And then he's like the
Hey, Brandon
KKK
McCross,
member.
like, "Hey, time to leave."
Jeff Rundle.
We're gonna put an uppercase T. The show will really mean business.
Oh yeah.
So freaking funny.
All right, so who wants to start the first ghost story? What's going on? How are you doing this, Anthony?
Okay.
I think Anthony should start.
Yeah, I just
Yeah,
asked.
I just wanted to like.
Did we
just-
even say hello?
What he just
Or we
said,
just
my
jumped
no, I'm
into
just
it?
kidding.
It's what I said, dude.
Booty trap. That's what I said.
Oh yeah, do we do the intro? Welcome to the Grandma's Breakfast Podcast.
Welcome.
Uh,
Welcome.
He's so horny.
Wait, can we all do a welcome and then we'll layer it in?
Yeah, sure.
Like welcome.
Welcome.
What am I
Welcome.
supposed to continue? All right. I guess we can
Grandma's
continue.
breakfast.
Breakfast. Like the Simpsons.
Yo, motherfucker, it's Grandma's breakfast.
Do that. Look at Michael's background, dude.
I have to fucking fix it. Let me see. There.
That's pretty sick.
Dude, that looks fucking
Okay.
nuts. It looks
Pretty sick, bro.
Jodorowsky type shit.
Ronda Rousey type shit? I guess so.
Who's that fucking dude? Something Jodorowsky. He's a
Yoda.
direct Jodorowsky.
Jodorowsky?
Yeah.
Oh, Arnowski.
No, Jodorowsky from Mexico. He's a director.
Oh wait, that's not a ghost.
Is
He is now.
He's a legend.
It's his birthday.
Oh!
It's his birthday today.
Speaking of Star Wars,
It's
The Rock's birthday,
guys.
Hi, Gerard.
Jared.
Gerard.
uh,
Hey,
Sh-
Jared.
Sherrod Carmichael.
Jared.
Gerard.
Hi, lads.
What's
I
up,
love
dude?
Jared.
Hello there.
Jared.
Fucking Gerard guy. How's it going, man?
How are you?
Good,
Yo,
brother. How
did
are
you guys just start or
No,
been going?
30 minutes ago.
yeah, I've been going.
Well,
Strong.
Still haven't done the intro yet. Or I think-
Anthony was about to get into his subject.
oh, okay, we'll proceed.
Proceed.
So, how are we doing this?
Very careful.
okay. So I figured I would just explain. Well, it's not much to explain about the topic. Wait, can you hear me?
Yeah, I could hear you.
Yeah, dog.
So, I mean, the topic's really broad. It could be just your theory on ghosts, but I really want to hear a story from everyone because I'm pretty sure everyone's either heard or has dealt with something, you know, and then from
Yeah.
there, everyone could dissect it or give their opinion on it.
Sounds good.
I think
Yeah.
you sound like a ghost right now, Anthony.
Yeah, you kind of sound like a ghost.
Your
Nice.
audio is very ghostly.
Ghost.
Dude, you freaking burn that guy, dude. He feels like such a dope right now.
Is that supposed to be a ghost behind you, Anthony?
It's a
That's the
ghost.
bird.
It's a ghost.
It's a ghost of a bird.
Oh, I
It's
thought it
the
was a
it's the bird, the ghost of the
the ghost of the bird. The
All right.
infamous bird.
big bird.
Do you want to start, Anthony, or who wants to go first?
I would let someone else go first. I'll pick. Let's go with Billy.
Oh shit!
Oh,
look.
Bill,
dog.
Big
Behind me
Billy.
is the boulder. The great boulder himself. I just want to
The
say
Boulder.
happy birthday to The Rock. It's his birthday today. I know this because we talked about it a lot at work yesterday. So, boys, strap yourselves in.
Hey, you need a
Like
flashlight.
story for you.
You need a flashlight. Good.
A flash.
And,
Fucking
In your
sunny, though.
nostrils. We want to see your nostrils.
Boys.
And your boogers. There you go. Fucking. Wow, how did you have a flashlight right there on like ready and to go?
Boys, stick around.
Just letting everybody know that was
Story for
completely
you.
unplanned right now.
Ready for some backseat stories?
Campfire stories, boys and girls.
Damn.
Yeah, I got ghosted by a girl once. It was not a good experience. I don't really want to talk about it. All right. I do have a crazy story of when I was a child, and I did
You were a
see a
young lad?
ghost. At least I believe I saw a ghost. I don't know.
When you were a young warthog?
When I was a young warthog. So when I was a kid, I lived in this condo in Chino, and I remember just getting really weird vibes from like the staircase. Like the staircase, something about it felt like very weird and dark, and I don't know. Like I was a kid, so it was not a lot to go off of. But like we started having weird things happen in the house, where like at 2 a.m. the shower would be on, the sinks would be on, but the doors would be locked, and all of us were like, outside, and there was nobody in there. And we'd open it, and sure enough, nobody in there, lights off, shower on, all that shit. And this happened a lot, and whatever. But like one night, I was going to sleep, and my bed was in a way that I could see like where the staircase was ending, so I could see kind of like the bars keeping me from walking over, and like just like the first steps of it going down, and I just like felt just like this terror come over me, and I'm just like looking straight at it, and like I saw this head rise up. It was like a completely brown head with red eyes.
What the fuck,
And,
dude?
Fuck.
Like the
and-
Crypt Keeper?
It was like I couldn't really see a face. It was just a brown figure, like almost like just really dark brown and red eyes.
You sound like
Yeah.
you're describing me when I'm high.
Dude,
It's a dark brown figure with red eyes.
where were you?
You and Frank are meant to live
It
together.
was me, dude. It was actually me.
It was the
sorry.
future.
I'm actually from your future. I
Shit,
came
man.
back
How
to
old
talk
were
to
you,
you as a
Billy?
child there.
You came in.
Scary.
It was,
No,
This
that's pretty
happened-
fucking creepy.
I remember I was living in the house when 9/11 happened, so it was 2001,
Mhm.
and like I was looking at it, and like my body just completely froze. Like I couldn't do anything. Like I didn't know what to do. I just didn't know. So I'm like looking at it, and then like I just like threw my blanket over my head, and I just started screaming for my mom, and then within like a few moments, she like ran in, and like that was kind of it for that. And then so I told her what happened, and my grandfather, who like did like sage blessings at people's houses and stuff, he came over to the house, and he said that like there was a spirit in the house, and he said like he kind of spotted the area, like it's right here, like it's in this specific area, and it was at the top of the stairs.
He already knew about it.
Yeah, it was crazy, and he had like sage, and he just like blessed the house, and then he said that the spirit was after me, like it was like something that, like my energy was
It was attractive. to
over
you.
9,000, and like
It
and, like, I had to get-
Did it fondle you at all?
was a pedophile ghost.
I wish
Yeah.
I fucking would have taken the pedophile over that. No wait, I take that back. I prefer the ghost. But yeah, that was really scary. After the house was blessed, we never had any other occurrences happen. Like nothing ever weird happened, and it was just done from that point on.
So what's your
That's pretty
thought about
fucking
it?
crazy.
Like, what do you, like, reflecting back on it, do you have any, like, opinions about it or anything?
I don't know. Like, I remember, like later on feeling like, I wonder if it even happened. Like, I wonder if like that, if I even saw what I saw, or like when I hear other people talk about ghost stories, like part of me is like I don't know, like maybe that happened. Like, but I'm always kind of looking forward to shit like that happening now. Like I kind of like almost ask for it to happen. Like I remember being a kid, like years later, like staying the night at my aunt's house, which is super creepy, and like looking at a weird mask on the wall, and I was like, look at me right now. Like
You
And, like-
welcomed it.
yeah, I was just like, if it happens again, then to me it's like it's proof like that.
Validation.
Yeah, that's exactly the way I see it. Like, I'm not really a believer of ghosts, but like, it'd be great if there were, because then I wouldn't be afraid of like,
We shouldn't really go ghost.
an afterlife would be cool. Dude, let's play. Yeah, I'm down. What the
Like-
fuck?
Superdome.
Running
what?
out of time. Upgrade now. Ah, dude, these motherfuckers are like.
Oh no.
It's the ghost, dude.
Smart. Look at you starting
Goddamn
another
ghost.
For me,
one.
man. He's coming back for me.
Dude, I'm just gonna upgrade, man.
It
Just to
usually
like.
gives it to us for free.
How
I
much is
know.
it?
I know.
You get it randomly though.
Yeah.
How much is it? I'll put in for some.
I'll do
It's
it.
like 50
Is it-
bucks a month.
Dude,
A month?
Michael, you're on the hammock.
It says 12 bucks
Not cool.
per
Jared.
month.
Not cool. Man.
That's cheap. I'm down. I'll put in on it.
Oh, it's 15 bucks a month actually.
What is it for the year? Isn't there a year deal?
Yeah,
15,
that,
like 1.5 or 5.0.
1.5.
Oh, it's cheap, dude.
$3.
Let me here, I'll do that shit right now. You guys keep talking. Hold on. I'll be right back.
Oh,
Hey, Daddy.
Oh.
they really, I know. Thank you, Daddy.
No, Billy.
You like that's the only. Was that the only experience that you had, Billy?
The only like real experience, like something I saw. I've heard other people talk about things and like, and
So you don't trust. Like I don't know if you actually had like experiences where you like you heard stuff, or you kind of saw shit out of the corner of your eye while you were living there.
I just remember.
Shadows.
Yeah, I remember like telling my mom that like, thinking back on it, like there was a time where I told her like at nighttime like I would get really scared because like I would see shadows on the wall like from outside or some shit, and like I would tell her like when no one else is around like they move like and it freaks me out, but like
Mm.
I don't know, I could have just been a scared kid like with that specific like thing, the shadows on the wall.
Right. Well, let me ask you something, Jude. And I'm not saying I'm not saying that what you said is not true, but now that you
But it's
now that-
stupid.
No, dude, but like now that you're older, dude, like do you sometimes think like did I actually see something or was I imagining it or
Yeah, completely. That's why it's like, and with respect to everybody, like when I hear people talk about ghost stories, part of me is just like, nah, like you probably saw some shit, but I really don't know because I don't know.
yeah.
I just like I had my experience, and like that to me was like an extreme experience. Like I saw something and I saw eyes, but that was so long ago that I don't even know if it was true.
Mhm.
You know, like how we found out that 9/11 didn't really even happen.
You gotta fucking talk to Michael
Damn,
about
you
that.
You just took it there, huh?
Damn.
That should be a fucking topic, dude.
Yeah.
Conspiracy
Oh,
theories.
that could be its own fucking
We'll do it
episode,
next.
honestly.
Yeah, maybe next time. That shit's
Uh,
it's a
We have
can of worms.
We have a 7-hour time period. Yeah, that's
7
my
hours.
experience.
That's pretty
Pretty
awesome.
Yeah, it's pretty nuts, dude.
So would you be down to like go ghost hunting and like just
Dude,
stay in somewhere
Yeah.
that's supposedly haunted?
Okay,
totally
no, dude. Okay,
Yeah,
would
totally
you be
down.
down? Would you be down to fucking play the Ouija board in the
Yes.
middle of the cemetery
yes.
at midnight?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Dude,
of course.
I've
Why
been in
haven't you done
cemeteries
it?
at midnight.
Oh, no.
I fucking
no-
like it. It just
Because I don't want to be lonely when I do it. I want to go with people.
just do it alone. Like,
Yeah, I don't
well,
know
now I
about
feel
that.
so stupid.
though.
I don't want to be a fucking loser doing it. I want to be cool.
If the cops show up, you have more people to beat up the cop.
Yeah, dude.
I don't know
you
about
guys
that
played
because
that
if that
before?
shit's real,
I
like,
played it
don't
with
want-
Anthony.
You played
Oh,
the
yeah.
Ouija board?
I don't
Yeah.
believe anything that's like sold in a fucking toy store, like in mass quantities. Like,
Dude, if there's
And
ghosts,
what
it's a
was your
good thing.
experience?
Like it would be a positive thing, I think.
What was your
Yeah,
experience
but
of it?
there's
Like,
like
Nothing
one-
happened, dude.
oh.
Nothing
not-
crazy.
That
happened.
was
It's
bullshit.
not real.
Until-
Yeah. It's
Until
fucking
after
bullshit.
Ivan left. Ivan left and something happened.
You
Really?
should.
Really? What happened?
No, okay,
Gee,
look.
that's interesting because Ivan's been dead for 20 years.
Holy shit.
What I
The,
am?
on, the only thing that I heard like was just like nothing in that room, but it was like not a pound. I don't know if it was like a slight slam, but no one was home except for us, you know. So after you left, but I just ignored it. I was like, but I threw it away. So
You should challenge it, dude. So
Yeah.
don't be a pussy. Come on
you
out.
should go back to Billy's house or the old house. Check that out.
Man, I've thought about that. It's so weird
Dude,
because
I'm down. I'm
So
down.
small. Yeah.
Dude, I
Cool.
don't know about the Ouija board thing though, because
Wimp.
What if some fucking if it's real and some fucking spirit like just lingers around you like for the rest of your life, or at least for
I've always
What?
felt like I'd love to like welcome those kind of things, like like 'cause what happens is
Dumb.
like they possess you or they kill you or like what happens there, like
I guess they can't really do anything, you know.
yeah, I think it'd be fucking
guess-
cool. I'm jacking off and I'm just looking at this ghost, dude. Like
Yeah, dude, they're
you're the one
perverts.
making this awkward. I'm not.
It's true. Ghosts are
You're probably-
perverts.
I think so, dude.
They're just
They're creeps.
perverts.
Fucking losers. Ghosts are losers.
All right, dude. We have
We're
a
gonna start
limited
another one?
minute. No, we're good. We're good.
Nice.
Who do you want to pick, Billy?
Jared.
Kind of in the same. Well, I honestly have never seen anything, but I am not. I'm open to the idea, you know. I'm open. I'm not gonna say, "Oh, that shit is not real," you know. I mean, I sometimes I feel like I want to see things just to know that maybe it is real or they do exist. But honestly, I've never encountered anything like that. I've heard other people's stories, and I remember when my nephew, he was really little. He would say that he would see things like monsters and stuff like that. Like I don't know,
Yeah.
and I would wonder, like, I mean, is it easier for kids to see shit than like adults? Because it seems like more kids are.
Well, that's the common belief. They say that when you're a kid, you're more receptive to like paranormal stuff. Same thing when you're older, because they say that those are the two times in your life when you're closest to death or just not existing, you know?
Yeah, makes sense.
Interesting.
So they say that, when as you get older, like you start like becoming more receptive to those things as well.
Yeah, my nephew would say that a lot, and then you know my parents would just be like, "Oh, you know, it's probably just like because they're Christians, they're like, it's probably just like evil spirits like lingering around." It's funny because
Demons
like,
in disguise.
yeah, it's funny because I didn't have any ghost stories, so I was like asking like my family, "Oh, so you guys have any ghost stories I could share?" You know, my daddy just sent me some scripture from the Bible. It's a long ass thing.
After you asked that, you guys have any
Huh?
ghost stories? It was like, Mijo, just read this.
It said something about the Holy Ghost. Something I don't know. I didn't read all of it yet, but
No.
I don't want to be all preachy.
Hmm.
But yeah, I don't know. But I've never seen anything. Can't say that I have. I wish I have, but
Yeah.
I don't know.
So, like-
I'm just curious. I really want to know. It would be nice to know.
Dude, okay. I'll put this on the table. If you guys want to go play the Ouija board in a haunted house or in a graveyard, I'll do it.
I'm not
Okay.
doing it.
I gotta think about that.
Yeah, I'd be down. I mean, I don't know.
Thank you, Billy, for having some balls.
I'm fucking.
Y'all
in my
fucking
mind, I'm
wimps.
Link, dude. I'm fucking Link, and this is just another temple I'm gonna have to conquer.
I like that. I like that mentality. It's got the Triforce of Courage.
Yeah, I got my shield right here, guys. I can see this
down.
clear as day in the master.
All right, who's next?
Who do you got, Jared? Who's
Oh,
next?
nobody wants to go.
Who's
dude.
next?
Petrified. This is spooky, guys. I don't know about this.
How about Frank?
I'm kind of in the same boat as you, man. I don't really have any stories that I know for sure. Like, I've had like a lot of coincidences of shit that I like kind of like trip out on, but I've never experienced like a ghost story or like ghost experience. But I hear of a lot of people who have. And my uncles would tell us stories about like shit that happened to them when they used to live in Mexico. But then I feel like a lot of those are just like folk tales, you know, that you tell
They're
campfire
Mexicans, dude.
stories. Yeah, dude. Well, man.
I swear, dude. It's a population of people who will have an intelligible conversation with you, and then all of a sudden it'll turn into fucking ghost stories, dude. Like immediately, like the most like I don't know. They could be like scientists or lawyers, probably.
Well, I feel like a lot of people have like stories too, and one place that I hear a lot about is like the Philippines. The Philippines like seems to be like a pretty haunted place. Like whenever I've asked people about it, like there's like a specific area that like people go crazy in, and like they see ghosts. But I don't know. I'd be down to check out a place like that too.
That'd be crazy.
I'm down.
I'm down for that.
I heard in New Orleans they have a bunch of houses where they actually have signs that say haunted.
I was just gonna say that New Orleans is like that's what they're popular for, right?
Yeah, dude. I actually took a ghost hunting
A tour.
a tour.
I
Yeah,
heard about those. I want to do that. I haven't done that, but I've heard about those.
Did you see a ghost?
we didn't even go inside the houses, dude. Like we just walked
So
around.
no. The
No.
answer's no.
Not. But it was cool. It was cool listening to the stories, dude, and like looking at the places and like all of that stuff.
The stories are cool. I could dig the stories. I like your background, brother.
Spooky ghost.
Do you remember the names, dude?
No.
Yeah.
No.
You do?
Leonardo, Michelangelo, Raphael, and Leonardo.
Leonardo again.
My Ninja Turtles. I don't remember any of their names. One of them's Amy. One of them's Rose. One of them's Knuckles, and one of them's Tails.
I knew you were doing that, dude. I fucking knew it.
I was looking it up, and like I saw like names on it. I was like, this can't be right. Like it says like Beth, Meg, Amy, and Jubilee. That's it.
Yeah,
That's really
those
good
are
names.
yeah. Mm-hmm.
Wow.
Those
Like
are the names,
normal-sounding
dude.
names.
They're probably named after like the designers. Or something.
My name's Amy, and this is my pose.
Yeah.
All women
So,
are like that, by the way.
So that's it for your story, or your
Yeah, man.
your
I don't
tidbit?
really have too many like crazy experiences.
Do you know anybody that has any like crazy stories? I have a friend that like experienced a lot of shit. Like
Really?
that
I've heard stories of the Ouija board stuff.
Luigi boards? Those are scary.
Luigi
Luigi.
too.
Luigi's Mansion.
Yeah,
That would make a fortune, dude.
that would make
Luigi
sense.
board, dude.
they
Yeah,
should
Yeah.
that would. 'Cause of
Holy
Luigi.
shit, dude! That's
Or
fucking
Luigi
genius.
board.
I bet it is.
Yeah,
good,
yeah.
man.
I'd buy
Dude.
The
it.
Luigi board.
I bet
Dude,
that's like
we should
Luigi.
we should come up with these ideas, patent them, and then fucking sell it to them.
Hit up Miyamoto, like, listen to you, idiot. Like,
I got an idea for.
Hmm. I don't
Alright,
want to
sorry.
do it.
Sorry, Frank.
No, that's cool. I like it. Let's do it. But no, I think I know a couple people who claim that they've had experiences with that game, with the Ouija board. And
What happened?
they all say that it like spelled something out, or like they asked it a question and it spelled it out. But I just think it's literally people. There's this one person in the group that's just gonna fuck with everybody, and everybody else is just gonna be a fucking gullible.
I totally think so. I totally. Think so.
I would do it till the last second, like, fuck it, I'm gonna move it. And then everyone would be freaked out. I'm like, oh God, guys, did
I'm
you
not
see-
doing it. I'm not doing anything.
It wasn't me, I swear.
But I don't know. Maybe shit.
Maybe shit.
There's gotta
those
be
are
some
people,
crazy
maybe
shit that like goes on. Didn't like Einstein say some shit about like if a human being could achieve like 100% brain capacity, that they would be glowing and like transparent or some shit? Like there was some sort of theory he had, or I don't know if it was Einstein.
I don't think he
or, like,
fucking ever said that shit.
No.
I think he said, "Ooh, spooky ghost, very scary." Science
Oh,
for me.
I'll look it up, bro.
I don't know. There's something like that. If a human being were to achieve like 100% brain capacity, that they would be like glowing and transparent, and they'd be able to like move through time and space and all this crazy shit. Like that sounds like a ghost or an alien. Like that sounds like the same thing to me. Like, you know what I mean? Some sort of interdimensional being that can like, I don't know. And so maybe there's something like that.
Yeah, we've all seen the movie with Scarlett Johansson, dude. We know what happens. She's like, doesn't she like she can phase through reality and shit at like the end?
Wait, what movie?
There's a movie I
Limitless or
remember
not
watching it in
Limitless?
theaters. It was like it was Scarlett Johansson and she took a pill or something, and it wasn't limitless, but she took a pill and it like slowly more and more of her brain like was accessed, and she started like phasing through reality, and she had to like concentrate to keep it from happening, and at the end she became like an omnipresent being. Like it was really fucking weird, and Morgan Freeman was in it too. It was a really
I
shitty
wonder
movie.
where they
but
got those ideas from.
from us. You're right.
Oh, dude, but just think of, like, it makes sense. It makes sense that if they say everything is like connected and you know you have a soul or whatever, if that's true, then you must be able to actually move through time and space. But maybe it's just like an experience that you're here, like you're locked down, you know, in like a temporary.
We are moving
impingement,
through time and
you know?
space right now as we
Well,
speak.
you are, but
Dude.
in a different dimension. I don't know.
In a higher sense.
In a paranormal way.
In a paranormal way, yeah. Paranormal Frank and Ivan.
So who's got the next story?
I think it's your turn now. It's between Anthony and Ivan. All right, let's hear it.
What about me? I didn't fucking say anything.
You haven't said anything, Ivan?
Oh, dude.
Oh, you haven't. Oh, I'm high as shit right now.
Come on, Taco. The old ghost expert.
Yeah.
Most religious guy in here.
All right, let's hear it. Let's hear it, Ivan.
Me?
Yeah.
Me?
Yeah.
Here we go.
Yeah, I don't believe in ghosts. That's pretty much what
Next.
This is gonna be everybody's response.
We're doing a
We're gonna have
podcast
30
on
minutes.
ghosts. You can't say that.
Nobody believes in them.
You can't say that.
No. Here's the thing, dude. I think that ghosts. I believe ghosts exist in a literal form, in the way that like something happened in your life or in your family's life that haunts you forever. Like a ghost is something from the past that haunts you forever. Like it could be something you did. It could be something like your family did.
Yeah.
Or like a friend. And that shit is like, that's a ghost to me. And
Just like a bad memory or a bad experience.
yeah, and as far as the thing you guys are talking about, like kids and old people
yeah.
being like susceptible to like things like that, it's because like in that Carl Jung book talks about you know, like as you grow into life, you grow away from like the unconscious world. So like it's like you're in the unconscious world and like you're going into consciousness. And as you die, you're going back into unconsciousness. And that's why like, I mean, I would attribute it to that. But I'll tell you guys a story.
There we go. That's what I really wanted to hear. Okay, like, get past all this.
That's why we came here for.
Okay,
I was
so
hoping
like,
somebody had a juicy one.
okay,
No
so
one believes it's true, Ivan. We're just fucking joking around.
all right, so at one point, like I was staying in Texas like when I was like 19, or something like that, and I was staying at my aunt's house, and I was like, for some reason, like you know when you just like start getting in your head like afraid about shit, like that's what was happening. I was just like
No.
laying in my bed watching
Like sleep
TV.
paralysis?
I think it was about kind of like that feeling. Like I was like watching TV, and then I started looking at the closet, and the closet starts freaking me out like a lot. Like I'm like, dude, why is this closet freaking me the fuck out? So I like look at the closet, try to ignore it by watching TV, turn off the TV. I'm about to go to sleep, and I'm like looking directly at the closet. I'm like, why is this freaking me the fuck out? So I put like the blanket over my head, and I'm like, dude, I'm really freaking out right now. And I pull like the blanket back over and look over like at the closet, and then I see like a little head like at the doorway that's like right next to my fucking bed, just like looking at me, just like
The fuck?
looking at me. And I'm like, in my mind, I'm like, what? No, dude, this is not fucking happening.
What
Fuck
the
this. You gotta be fucking shitting me, dude.
You gotta be shitting me, a ghost. Come on, man, a ghost.
So I'm like looking at it, just staring at me, and it like gets
Kidding me,
closer,
dude.
and it's like, hey man, can I sleep with you tonight? And it's my cousin,
There's a fucking roost, guys. We just got by Ivan.
and he's 10 years older than me, and he starts like, I'm like, yeah, dude, it's cool, it's fine.
That is pretty scary.
So he starts making his bed like next to like a blankets underneath on the floor,
Yeah.
and we're just like laying there at night, and he just asks like, "Do you want to know why I'm in here?" And that's when I freaked out. I was like, "Why the fuck would you start off a sentence like that?"
Oh God.
And
This
he
is
said,
actually a figment
He
of
fucking
you.
turns on the light and he's butt naked.
and he says it's because he saw a guy that was spinning really fast in his doorway.
What?
Whoa.
Like a guy was just like spinning around really fast in his doorway.
What the
Hey,
fuck?
can I-
Was this
can
the
I-
one
can
that
I-
has the disorder? Or
Yeah, it's him. He's schizoaffective, so I attribute it to his schizophrenia.
Do you think
Yeah.
that, like, while you're on the subject, like, do you believe in like energy sensing, like kind of like feeling energy as it kind of is around you?
Like if you're mad, like I could tell that you're mad or something.
Like I don't know, like how some people can feel like when someone's like
like your
talking
stair
about
story?
them.
Huh?
Yeah, like, or like you sent, like, kind of like I was saying when I was a kid and I felt like bad energy on the stairs. Like, do you think that's a thing at all?
Oh yeah, for
I don't
sure.
know.
You know what? Actually,
It's like
you
a
reminded me
instinct
of
almost.
something.
Like, could there be a science thing, like, where it's like there's hormones in the air, or like there's
I
like a
believe in bad
electrical
energy,
field
for
that's
sure.
Maybe.
changing? Like,
I definitely believe in bad energy.
I don't know,
Like,
man.
dude,
Kind of like
I've
The
had-
Shining.
Okay, yeah, actually, you just reminded
Yeah, I
me. I
guess so.
have had
Yeah, like The
a
Shining.
somewhat of a ghost experience, but it wasn't really a ghost experience, but it was definitely like a bad energy experience. It's really
Uh-huh.
weird.
oh, here comes the scaries.
So, like, you know the Norms right there off of West Covina, or off
Yeah.
of Azusa? in
Yeah, I
West
hate that
Covina?
place. Yeah.
That sucks.
Me
I
too.
don't like that place
Yeah.
either.
I opened, well,
Steak
I helped
Corral.
open that place.
Steak
when it
Corral
first
forever.
opened. Yeah, I liked it better when it was Steak Corral, dude.
Dude, I worked there.
You worked at,
Cool.
Yeah, I worked at Steak Corral. Yeah.
oh, at Steak Corral?
Yeah.
Damn, dude.
No.
I have there.
Seven?
I was in high school.
Yeah, that's when they closed, pretty much. Yeah.
The ghost of Steak Corral haunts Norm.
Maybe that's what happened.
That is.
That's what happened,
I
dude.
fucking hope so.
I know.
All those delicious steaks.
Dude, there's another one. I saw one the other day. Where was I?
Oh, what?
I was driving. Yeah, there's a Steak Corral that's open. I don't know where the.
Let's go.
A spooky
I was
steak
like,
corral?
what?
I don't know.
Dude, I'll wear my Steak Corral hat. I
thing
have
still
one.
exists.
Let's play with the Ouija board there.
Just in the restaurant.
Yeah, just set
Will
it
you
up.
guys be ordering today? Oh no, we're good. Thank you.
No, we're just gonna sit
We're
here.
trying to summon the old Steak Corral from West Covina.
Yeah.
Suddenly the ghost of those pigs you slaughtered.
Oh, fuck, dude, too real, bro.
All right. Do you guys want to hear this?
Yeah, let's go.
Okay.
What's up?
So, when they first opened, I started working like right when they opened, and I wasn't even like 3 months there, I think. And they had me on the midnight shift. It's open 24 hours, so you could work like midnight to like, I don't know, 6 or 7 in the morning. And so they had me on that shift, and you get like all the crazies, drunk people come in. And that's a pretty fun shift though. Like there's always like crazy shit happening or whatever, somebody drunk or like just some stupid shit happening. And one night, this group of like, I don't know if you call them like gypsies or something, but they all look like gypsy people, And they're all like,
Gross.
yeah. And they all like sat down. They were like super quiet, all super serious, and like it was like a whole family. It was like the mom, the dad, and I'm sorry, it was like this mom. She had like 2 kids, and it was her mom and her dad, so like the grandparents. And so they're ordering their food, and it's not even my table. It's like somebody else's table, and I'm just walking by, and the lady like flags me down, and she's like complains about her French fries being cold. So I'm like, all right. So like I took it back, and I like told my friend, I was like, hey, they complained about this, and she was just like kind of rolled her eyes or whatever. So then like I'm doing my thing, whatever, taking care of my tables, and I passed by them again to get to my table, and now the grandma flags me down, and she's complaining about her steak, but she already ate like half of it. And like it's really weird. So like I'm standing there and I'm listening to her explain the story, and then I look at the daughter and she's like just mumbling some shit, and I don't know what she's saying because she's saying it like in another language, so I don't know what the fuck she's saying. But she's not even talking to anyone. She's just like mumbling it out loud. And the kids are going like crazy, dude, on the table. They're just like fucking, just little bratty ass kids, like just fucking playing with everything, and they're not telling them, you know, to stop or anything. And I just started to feel like really weird, dude. Like I felt like the grandma was just like keeping me there just so that girl can be like saying whatever the fuck she was saying. And I just started to feel like really just weird ass energy from the whole table. Like what they were saying wasn't really why they wanted me there. They were just like fucking with me pretty much, almost. And
Casting a spell on you.
some shit like that, dude. And I swear out of nowhere, like somebody just grabs my arm and just pulls me away from the table, like mid-sentence. Like the lady's still talking. And I'm just like, what the fuck? Like I literally feel like somebody grabbed me like out of like a radar or like a what do you call that? Like a tractor beam or something.
Oh shit!
And
That's
it
the
was
beginning of a movie for sure.
It was my manager, and she was like this really cool chick, like I don't know, probably about my age. And she was like, I forgot what her name is, but she was like, hey, don't worry about that table. And I'm like, what the fuck? Like, what was that? She was just like, dude, those people are weird as fuck. Like, just don't interact with them. Just leave them. They've come in here before, and I like they're just weird. Like, just don't interact with them. She's like, I'll take care of them. I'm just like, all right. I was just like, what the fuck? Just really weird. So I don't know what the fuck.
Dude, she Kyle Reesed you, dude.
What is that?
Kyle Reese, dude.
Me? Yeah, she did, dude. She fucking saved me from like their evil spell. I think they were like casting. I don't know. That or they just wanted the free food. Probably both.
Yeah, man. Yeah.
But I don't know. I feel like there's dark energy out there. Like people really look into it, and they're really like into spreading that shit.
Like black magic.
Mm-hmm.
I wish magic was real. I want there like to be like shit like that in the world. I like that background you have, Bongo Bongo. It's cool.
I know Bongo Bongo.
Fucking love it.
Just trying to think of like spooky Zelda shit now. My friend, I had a friend who had like a lot of weird shit happen to her, like as a kid growing up, and like she also worked at the $2 theater in Pasadena, and she and other employees there said that one of the rooms was haunted. One of the theaters, like the top one on the right, they said like that room is haunted. They've seen things, they've heard things, it's fucking crazy. And I think one day she maybe you were there too, Ivan. I don't know. It was like back in the hanging out at Eric's house days.
It was Ashley?
Yeah, Ashley. And she gave us like a tour of the place. Like we went into the theater and there's like a downstairs, like completely black hallway. Like it's like you can't even see the end of it. But eventually it leads up to like the back alley, like where you can park. And like we just went there and I was down. I was like, I'm fucking scared, but I want to go. Like, and like I was the only one, so I was like, I'll just stick with the group. But like I always found that really interesting because she had like a lot of really weird things. Not to put her shit on blast, but fuck you, Ashley. She said that she's seen like she's had things grab her and seeing hands like demonic looking hands and like been visited by things repeatedly. And I don't know because like I also not to talk bad about her at all, but like I also am very aware of mental illness issues. And I don't know, you know, like she could be right, but like that's one thing that always plays in my mind when people talk to me about ghost shit is like maybe like, or maybe you're need some help, like
yeah,
maybe
schizophrenic.
Yeah, I don't know, but she had a lot of stories. She had like a shit ton like of continuously happening and telling people and no one doing anything about it. So like I don't know, maybe in their heads they thought she was having some issues as well, but I don't know.
There's a question I want to ask, but like I also want to hear from Anthony and Nigel because they haven't really told their stories.
When did you switch from the hammock?
Who should go first?
Yeah, what happened?
Pick one.
You guys should fight for it.
Yeah.
Let's go to Anthony, dude. He put his hand up.
I put my finger by my ear.
Oh.
Seamlessly.
It's hardly a hand.
Okay. This is a two-parter. Move one more time.
Yeah, get comfortable first.
Okay. You guys ready?
No, I'm
So
ready for this.
this is literally 11 years ago. And just to add a background story to it. So someone in our family passed away 2 weeks before this. And nothing connected to that at all. No one was like, everyone was fine. Like at the house, there was like 3 or 4 of us living here at the time. And I was in my back room and I was just watching something, and out of nowhere, I knew I was the only one at home at the time. And then I heard I was laughing at the TV, and then I just heard pounding upstairs, like someone was walking, like they just ran over or something really quick. And it caught me off guard. I was like, oh shit, my brother's here. My younger brother's here. I thought he left, So 2 minutes later, I went to go throw some trash outside, and I saw that his car wasn't here. I was like, what the fuck? So I kind of just stayed outside until someone got home, because I just thought someone's in the house.
Damn.
But we go back in, and everything's fine. So then less than a week later, I'm hearing it again, but I just kind of put up the volume because I don't want to hear it. But I swear, after I put up the volume, it's it stomped harder. Picture someone walking around, dun, dun, dun. All of a sudden, say if you put the volume on, dun, dun, it just got louder. They want you to be heard. I'm like, what the? So I really thought, I'm like, all right, what's going on? I didn't think I was losing my mind. I just didn't know what I was hearing. So I left it alone. And then a few days pass. I'm reading a book, I think for class, I'm just studying. And all of a sudden I'm hearing it, and I'm looking up at the ceiling, and I'm hearing it walk around. And my sister happened to be by the house that day. There's a staircase, and then there's a restroom next door, and she was in there doing her makeup. And she walks over to my room, and she's like, hey. And she's like, is Amando upstairs? I'm like, okay, cool. I'm not fucking crazy. I'm like, you can hear that, right? She's like, yeah, she sounds like someone's walking around upstairs. So then she's like, go check it out. I'm like, are you gonna go with me? I'm like, no. so then I get a pull stick. I walk out there, and I'm just sitting in there, waiting to hear something. All right, let's see what happened, And nothing's happening. And basically, the girl I was with at the time, her family was really religious. They gave me some bracelet. It's supposed to free energy or push it away. So I hung it up in there, and it stopped. It never came back. So that wasn't a crazy story. That's the first party, right? But then this story I kind of want your guys' opinion on. 6 months later, I'm talking to one of my good friends, and he's like, I have this story for you. I'm just I didn't get to talk to you about it, but the day of the relative's wake, he's like, that same day we went home, he's like, some of the family members knew that person, and they were just talking about good memories. He was in the kitchen with her, and then all of a sudden, as they were talking about good memories, they saw some huge flash in front of them, a light, not a shadow or anything, some form of light, almost like a silhouette, but of light. And it just kind of went through both of them, and it made both their bodies kind of go back, and they teared up, and they kind of looked at each other did you see that? What the fuck was that? So till this day, I was kind of mad at him at first. I'm like, dude, why didn't you tell me that in the past? But I was like, that's pretty crazy. So till this day, I never heard of a ghost story like that. So I don't know what that was, but I just wanted your guys' opinion. That's it.
Spooky. What?
If you guys think
I don't know. I don't know what to say about that.
If you guys think that ghosts are real, what do you think they would want? In that scenario, what do you think?
Well, I'll be completely honest, because I'm not trying to make this a big story, but basically that person who passed away at the time was my mom. So the whole walking upstairs, I didn't even think about that when it happened. And then when he brought up the whole wake story, hey, he's like, I didn't get to talk to you. He's like, or tell you about the story. And then when he explained that, I'm like, that's fucking crazy, because I've never heard of anything like that, Because he said it didn't look like a person; it was just a form of light that was in front, and then it just came forward, kind of went through their bodies, passed through, and it made them kind of not fling back, but slightly, Yeah. No clue.
Hey, man.
Pretty crazy story, Gene.
Sure.
How long ago was that?
That was literally 11 years ago. 2009. Wait. Yeah, 2009.
For sure, dude.
I'm not
You haven't
trying
felt-
to, not trying to throw shit at them. I'm just asking, do you believe them? Are they like credible in your eyes?
That guy, yeah, because the person who was telling me was my older brother's friend, but we're both pretty much like best friends too, because I was friends with him, or friends with them, that group. And when he was telling me the story, he sounded really emotional, which was weird because I never heard him like that. He's usually one to crack jokes all the time, you know?
Yeah.
But as he was telling the story, I was like, fuck, you know? Because he was telling me, because my mom, she was friends with like everyone. She was one of those people who just, she saw you, she'd wave. She didn't care if she didn't know you. She was a nice person. And she knew a lot of people from our elementary school, which she went to and all that. And so they were just back in their place and talking about, oh, like her name was Mona Lisa. Oh, Mona Lisa was a great person, blah, blah, blah. And out of nowhere, that they were near the kitchen counter and that shit just happened. They were sitting at the kitchen counter, like kind of like on stools. They said just like a form of light appeared in the front, but as it appeared in the front, it was kind of like moving forward, like went through them. Yeah.
Dang.
So I always thought, till this day, that story has tripped me out. Like I'm almost trying to look for stories similar to that, and I've yet to hear one. So I'm kind of like, yeah. And then the walking upstairs one became kind of a joke with my brother because he sleeps in that room. And I said, I'm like, yeah, later on, I thought, like, what if it was mom? And he's like, well, why would you get rid of her? So it was kind of like a funny joke. But I wasn't trying to, you know.
Yeah, that's interesting.
Stomps.
I don't know what to say about it. I mean, I can't just say like, no, that didn't happen because if they saw it, they saw it. Like,
Yeah.
I would just
Well,
think,
interesting is like the more than one person. That's
Yeah.
the thing that always kind of makes me feel like something actually happened is like if more than one person saw it. Yeah, I don't know. And
And
I-
just like even for my sister too, like we both, more than one person heard the same thing. She's like, hey, like, is someone upstairs? Like, yeah. It sounded like someone was walking up there. That's fucking weird.
I mean, I think people are connected like in some sort of unconscious way. Well, it's not just me, dude. Like, I'm telling you, dude, that fucking book's really interesting. That like Carl Jung book. Like
Which
they talk
one?
about the Carl Jung book.
Which
the one
one?
that I have it. It's just a collective works. It's just like
Oh,
a
the
body of
collective?
his. Yeah.
Yeah.
So they talk about, huh?
Yeah, man. Good.
So they talk about like the collective unconscious. So like the human has like three aspects of like their psyche, which is like the consciousness, your personal unconscious, and the collective unconscious. And maybe just like things like, you know, myths and just like, you know, like why stories connect with like a whole population, why heroes connect. That's part of collective unconscious phenomenon. And maybe the way I would rationalize it's like, you know, you're like going through like some trauma together. Maybe you're confronted with unconsciousness itself because like it has to do with death. Like death is like the ultimate unconscious. Maybe I'm just pulling this out of my ass. I don't know what I'm talking about. I'm just like saying this.
I hear
And,
you.
I literally just pulled it out of my ass.
and maybe you guys are just connecting like in your grief. Like you guys are like somehow tuned into each other.
Could be
I don't know. Like I don't know, but it also could be real.
That kind of feel like it comes back to the energy thing, like where like if there's shared energy, is that a thing? Like where if you guys are feeling the same thing, like could you create a reality together, like or create things like that? I don't know.
I feel like that's okay, can I tell you guys my story because I feel like it ties to this like very nicely.
Yeah.
Well, this is the thing, G, like growing up, G, like I did have some experiences, G, like some of them are freakier than others, some of them can be more attributed to like I probably heard something that sounded like this, you know, or just I just wasn't paying attention or just my imagination and shit like that. But there's been a few where it's like very like shocking and it's very like just crazy, dude, like just fucking crazy. When I was living in Texas, I used to work for this theater company. And when I was doing one of their shows, I met this girl from Hawaii. And just talking to her, G, like she started talking about like her liking of like the paranormal and all that stuff. And like we kind of bonded over that. And every day, like we would talk about like our experiences and like her experiences growing up in Hawaii. and like the legends from Hawaii and like all of that stuff, dude. So it was pretty fucking cool.
Yeah.
And one day, dude, she makes the proposition that we should go ghost hunting like once a week after the matinee shows on Sundays. And I was like, yeah, dude, like I'm fucking down for that. So over the week, like we would research like haunted places in San Antonio. And then on Sundays after the matinee, we would just go, you know? And we were doing that for like a good month. And like more people in the cast, more people in the show started finding out that we were doing that. And eventually like we had like more people tagging along and like shit like that. One weekend, she sends me before the matinee, before the show, she sends me a text and she asked me if I ever heard the legend of the donkey lady. I was like, no, dude, like I've never heard that story. And then she sends me a link and I read the story, dude. And there's like this park. It's not, now it's a park. Like before it was just the wilderness. But there was a family of indigenous people from Mexico that were living literally in the middle of the forest. They had like their little shack or whatever. And this happened during the Texas versus Mexico revolution, whatever. And the legend says that I don't know, I don't remember the details, dude, but pretty much like American soldiers fucking like burned down the house with her and her two kids inside. And the two kids died. The two kids got incinerated. And even though she survived, like she was taken to the hospital or whatever, and she survived. And the reason why they call her the donkey lady, it's because after she got out of the hospital, like half of her face was so deformed that you could see like half of her jaw, like this part of the cheek was missing. So it looked like a fucking like a horse, like a donkey, I don't know. But the thing is that she apparently went back to living in that house. Like she went mad because she fucking lost the kids and like all of that stuff. So she went fucking mad, dude, and she went back to living in that shack, that half burned shack. And I don't know, I don't remember the rest of the story. I just remember that because she went mad, in order to get into this park or this forest, you have to cross like this really, really long bridge, right? And apparently, like in her madness, she went down to the river, and she threw herself from the bridge, dude. And it's not that tall. The bridge is not that tall, but there's like a shitload of rocks at the bottom. It's like a very rocky river, right? So she died. And the legend was that her house is still standing, and you have to go and like find a house, and then you can go in and whatever, dude. Like we're just fucking around. We're just hanging out, you know. Like we weren't like seriously hunting for ghosts. Like we were just like, let's do something, and we would fucking buy like a shitload of alcohol, and like we would just hang out, you know. So this time, it was me, my Hawaiian friend, and three other friends, two girls and one guy. And so we decided to go after the matinee, and we didn't realize that this place was fucking far. Like it was really, really far, G. Think about driving. It's like driving from here to Palm Springs, kind of. It's like really fucking long. It's really fucking far. So, but whatever, like we ended up going, and like apparently, dude, like the legend says that when you go there, when you go to the Donkey Lady Bridge, you're supposed to stop your car before you cross the bridge, and you're supposed to turn off the car and start making a shitload of noise, and then when you turn the headlights on, like she'll appear in front of you or whatever, dude. Like just a stupid legend like that, and that's what we were planning to do, you know. And we had like our cameras ready and all of that. And we got there, dude, and right before we did it, like all the girls in the group started freaking out. They were like, "No, don't do it!" So we were like, "Gee, like what the fuck, dude? Like we just drove like an hour and a half, and we're not gonna do this."
Wow.
And like, fuck that, dude. So we decided to like fucking just park the car and go in. This is like what, G? Like it was getting dark. It was like 9, 10. It was like 9, around 8 or 9. It was already dark. So we decided to like park the car and just fucking go in and try to find the Donkey Lady house. So we went into it, and it's straight up just it's a hiking trail, you know, and it's really dark, and we were just walking, doing like it probably took us like about an hour to find the house, and you see it, dude, like it's like you're going up a hill, and you see it at the top of the hill, and it's surrounded by chicken wire, like a chicken wire fence.
Donkey wire.
So we were like, oh shit, dude, like we actually found it, and the crazy thing is that right outside. Right outside the fence, there's this sign with a picture of the Donkey Lady sitting outside her house.
Yeah.
And she does look like all fucking weird, dude. Like this half of her face is like missing, and she's like super sad, and she's just like sitting outside. And I just tell you the whole story, the whole legend, you know. So I was like, oh shit, dude, like this is fucking crazy.
Is it like a tourist attraction?
Not
Yeah.
really, dude. Like I can't fucking imagine. I can't fucking imagine like tourists going like out of their way like that to go see a fucking rundown house. You
It's
know,
a
it's
thing
more
you
like
look
You'd be
up.
surprised. It's a thing.
Donkey
dude.
Lady Bridge.
I feel like it's more like
I
an
just-
urban legend. It's more for like the locals, you know. And but anyways, you like so we get to the house, we find the house, and like we just sit. It was like a picnic table. So we just fucking sat down, and like we were just drinking and like just talking, hanging out, smoking. And then my friend Matthew, this guy is fucking nuts, dude. Like he's just fucking crazy. He doesn't give a fuck. He doesn't have he just doesn't care for his well-being, you know, like he just doesn't give a fuck. And he was just like, fuck this, dude. And he fucking like climbs over the chicken wire fence, and she goes into the house, and I'm following him, right? So I fucking jump over the fence too, and we go into the house. The house is fucking empty, dude. Like there's nothing in there. The weird thing though is that this was in the middle of fucking summer, and I don't know if you guys ever been to Texas or not, but it's fucking hot over there, dude, and it's super humid. It's like insane. I'm talking about extreme weather. And inside the house, it had windows, but it didn't have like glass. It was just like a hole in the wall, and like the door, it was just like the door frame. So the weird thing is that inside the fucking the house, it felt like someone had like an AC going on. Not too high, but you could feel like the temperature difference, you know? And I was just like, I mean, that kind of like, I was just like, that's weird. Like, it feels weird in here, but whatever, you know? So we're walking around the house. The house is probably the size of my room. And in one of the corners, there's like a bunch of pots, like clay pots, broken. And there's one big one, dude, that has like black stuff in it. Kind of like petroleum, like dried up petroleum, or like black wax or something. And like the first thing that comes to my head is like, gee, like somebody comes here and like does like their fucking witchcraft or whatever. So I was just like, yeah, gee, like this is lame. This is dumb. So let's get the fuck out of here. So we go back, gee, like we finish drinking or whatever, and we start heading out. And it's close to like 11 p.m. by now. So we start heading out, gee, and like the girls kind of like went ahead. Not by a lot, but they kind of like went ahead of us. So much to the point where we got when we got to the bridge. By the time me and Matthew got to the bridge, the girls were already on the other side of the bridge waiting for us, you know. And like when you get to the bridge, there's no the bridge is crossing over the river, so there's no there are no trees around you when you're crossing the bridge. There's nothing. There's just space, you know. And me and my friend, like we're crossing the bridge, and we're side by side, dude, and like we're wearing like sleeveless shirts, like tank tops, and all of a sudden, like I just felt like something jumped on my arms, like something, dude, like somebody threw a pillow or somebody threw something on both my arms, dude. Like it kind of stopped me on my tracks a little bit, but I was just like, I don't know, dude. Like I didn't think much of it, but as soon as that happened, like at the same time, my friend Matthew, G, like he just fucking lets out like this, ah! And like I look at his arms, G, and he's like bleeding. He's got like scratches. Like he had like a big one going from like the back of the shoulder all the way down around like this. And like it kind of ended like over here. And then he had on this side, he had like 2 or 3 big scratches. And one of them I remember went to the, like down to the middle of the palm of his hand, like down here. And I was just like, what the fuck, G? Like, I'm freaking out. I'm freaking out, G. And then I go like this. Like, I just go like this, and it feels fucking sticky. And I look at my arms, G, and I have scratches too.
What the fuck?
His fucking, like, the weird thing, dude, is like, my scratches were not as bad as his. Like, he was bleeding a little bit more, and his scratches seemed a little bit deeper. You know, like, I just looked like I got scratched by a cat. But he looked like he actually like got attacked by one, you know?
Yeah.
So like we freaked out, G. Like we run to the car, and like the girls freaked out too. They see us all bleeding, and they're like, "Ah, what happened?" Ah! And they're like screaming, like, "Let's go, let's go, let's go!" So we fucking go, G. Like we left, and like I remember because we were in my car. We took my car, and I had a bottle of sanitizer, G. And I remember just fucking pouring that shit on my arms, and it hurt a lot. But anyways, G, like, the weird thing is that it did not feel, like, I didn't feel like an energy attacking me. I didn't feel scared. I didn't feel like anything, G. Like, it was just like a weird thing. I don't know. And, like, it continued. Like, I'm almost done. But I would never tell my mom that I was going ghost hunting, G, because she's,
No, that's cool.
you know why.
Yeah, my
Like,
mom
she's very,
got to a little bit.
yeah, G, like she's like super, what's the name, G? Like, superstitious. She's very superstitious, G. So I would never fucking tell her. Like, I would just be like, I'm hanging out with my friends. We're going to a bar or whatever. And one day, like the day after, it was literally the morning after. I woke up, G, and I was wearing like a long sleeve shirt, so my mom wouldn't see the scratches, you know. And I wake up and I go to the kitchen, and my mom is in the kitchen drinking coffee. And then she tells me, like, I had a really, really weird dream yesterday. And I was just like, oh, yeah, what? And she starts telling me her dream, and she said that in her dream, I come up to her, right? And I'm holding like a pot. And I tell her, look, listen inside there. There's ghost in there. And she said that it was like a pot with like black wax inside. And this is without me, like this, she doesn't even know that I'm doing this stuff, you know? She doesn't even know that the reason that I'm wearing the long sleeve shirt is because I got attacked by something, I guess. But I mean, that kind of shocked me. I was like, oh my God, dude. So I tell her the story, like I show her my scratches, and she gets really fucking pissed. Like I feel like after, like that was probably the closest thing that my mom has gotten to beating me up since I was a kid.
Yeah, she's like, don't be messing with that.
Yeah.
That's what I'm saying, man. That energy thing. That's like a thing that happens.
But dude, like how do you explain like me and my friends getting attacked by something at the fucking same time?
I would
like
say
it's one thing to see something,
yeah,
and like, you know.
I would say that it was a chicken wire. It scratched you, and the adrenaline wore off, and then you feel the pain later.
Like an hour later.
Damn, Ivan, straight ghost killing right now.
No way, dude.
Yeah,
Like a lot of
But
dude,
at the
like
same
how
time, though.
how am I gonna get scratched? How is he gonna get scratched all the way from the back of his shoulder?
You don't know how to climb fences, dude. You don't know how to climb fences, dude. Especially some with chicken wire. Like the chicken wire is there to fucking hurt you.
Yeah, but I know that you would know if you got hurt climbing a chicken wire fence.
No, dude.
Right there, dude, like, your
there's been
clothes will
days. There's been days where I've gotten scratches. Like, where the fuck did I get that from? And it's fucking like a pretty big scratch.
Have you ever gotten like 4 or 5 that you're just like, what the fuck?
Felt your life being
I'm just gonna say yes.
clawed out of you.
I'm gonna say yes. Just to fucking...
Extraterrestrial.
Yeah, dude, and then we both had a reaction right when it happened.
At the same time, yeah. That's
At the
kinda
same
weird.
time.
It's called physiology, dude.
It's called allergic reaction.
I don't even know, G. Like, I'm just saying, G. Like, I don't even know what the fuck it was, G. Like, if it was something paranormal, I feel like I would have fucking felt something. But I didn't fucking feel like anything. Like, I didn't feel fear or anything.
Chicken wire, dude.
It's not the fucking chicken wire.
I believe you, dude.
I wouldn't be
believe you.
surprised if everybody's a little bit different
I
in
don't.
regards to feeling stuff. I feel like Ivan, because Ivan believes in the devil, like he's never gonna have this.
Yeah,
But like,
it's true.
but but in all seriousness, like I feel like we really don't know because there's so many stories, you know, like it's hard to deny them all. Like, and I'm sure there's for a lot of them, there's like scientific reasons or like there's shit that happens, like you fucking set up a ball and then it fell, like, but you forgot about it. But like
Gravity.
Yeah, of course.
my brother, he always has some weird fucking story, and it's like whenever he tells me shit, I'm like, yeah, dude, sure, whatever. Listen, did you get a job yet, man? Or what's going on? But like,
Jobs are ghosts, really.
yeah, that's
are in my
how
life, at
that's how you
least.
get away from ghosts, dude. But I also feel like if they were real, like, do you think they like? There's like an idea in my head that like they would only want to be seen when they would want to be seen. Like if there's a huge group of people, I'd imagine that they wouldn't want to like, hey everybody, I'm a fucking ghost. Like you're alone. Like
It's
Well,
how you
dude,
get-
there's
Same
a
thing with
belief.
aliens.
I don't know.
There's a belief that they don't they don't straight up just show up to you.
There's rules. There's tiers.
Yeah,
There's
apparently
different tier
there's like
levels.
rules. You like first of all, I feel like you have to
Gotta
have
be
like that
rules.
extra intuition, and then they'll just fucking like find you or whatever.
I'm
I don't
visited by Bernie Mac's ghost every single night. He's like, man, what are you doing whacking it again? I'm like, sorry.
I can tell you guys
Yeah, he is
another.
dead, huh?
I can tell you guys another crazy story if you guys.
Wait,
want.
what?
Yeah, Bernie Mac.
Bernie Mac is dead, huh?
Oh, Bernie Mac. Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know why I thought in my head you said Bernie.
Bernie.
You said Bernie Mac. Bernie Mac. Bernie Smack.
Bernie and Bernie.
You talking about America? America.
That's a TV show if I ever heard it, dude.
Oh man.
Bernie Mac and Bernie Sanders.
Tell him to bring him back, dude. Bring him back. Fuck it.
2.5. We gotta have 2.5 men fucking spin
Do
off.
an alien
Can we
like
summon it?
show
If we
with
do the
Bernie
Ouija
Mac.
board?
Bring him back.
Let's
It's
summon
Bernie
Bernie
Mac,
Mac.
Bernie Sanders playing the Ouija board, a Luigi board, on an alien ship that just arrived here.
This isn't some world building, dude.
Hey, did you hear that we got a signal? Or
No, what?
Yeah, dude, from
I'm
some,
gonna look it up. What is it?
I
What?
forgot what
No way.
Milky Way or some system, I can't remember.
What?
What do I type in?
We're
Wait,
hearing
we got a
we're
signal
hearing,
from space?
yeah.
It's like some contact shit.
What do I type in?
Just type in,
Radio signal from Milky Way.
I don't know if it was from Milky Way. It might have been some other.
How long ago was this? Because I
Dude,
like, there's so many different dates popping up.
Really?
February 20th,
I don't know. Someone just
August.
told me. Who told me?
August
2 days
2019.
ago. Or no, yesterday someone told me that. But I don't know when it happened. Someone was reading an article while we were
Someone's
getting
playing a
ready.
prank on you, dude. You're
Probably.
too gullible. You're too easy.
I am so fucking gullible. It's horrible.
I mean,
actually.
that seems a little bit more believable. Actually, I
I'm
don't-
gullible, but then I'm super analytical, so I'm like, wait, no, shut up.
I was driving with Janet's friends once, and they're like laughed at me because they're like, "You believe in aliens, but you don't believe in ghosts." You fucking idiot.
That's
It's
kind
like-
of a double-sided thing, though. you know?
No, dude. Aliens are a probability thing. It's just a probability. It's a numbers game.
Well, so are ghosts, you dingus.
Oh, we've had this
No,
conversation.
ghosts
before.
are ghosts are fucking a faith game. It's just
You're just not in that probability.
It depends on how you look at it, though. It depends. on how
Nigel
you
and
look
I
at
have
it.
seen ghosts. You haven't, dude. Just
Oh
bro.
no, G, like I haven't.
Aliens are of the physical world.
yeah. So
Those
are
are
ghosts.
of the non-physical
Ever
world.
heard of ectoplasm, dude?
What if they're not of the physical world? What if they're beyond the physical world?
Ooh,
What is
aliens?
ectoplasm? Is that
Extra
a-
dimensional beings.
Well, then, but that's
Sounds
still the
like
physical world.
ghosts to
That's
me.
still the physical world. Well, no, I think I get what you're saying. So you're saying
Depends
that
on how you look
ghosts,
at it.
so in your opinion, or not opinion, but what you're saying is that ghosts are just extra dimensional beings, not
Could
even
be.
dead.
Could be.
I mean, yeah, I can't disprove you. Like I
I
can.
think if
I have
they
a
were
quick
like
side
that-
story for Ivan. Quick story. Okay. You remember Anthony Garcia?
I've heard of him. Yeah.
Okay. So one of his friends, they used to have a daycare center at their house, right?
Uh-huh.
His friend Johnny, whatever, was visiting. He walked past the room, and he told him, "Hey, He's like, hey dude, like I didn't know you had a younger brother. And then like the guy just like ran back, said, what? Like, and he kind of like pushed him out of the way to check the room, and like nothing was in there. But he said, what are you talking about? And he said he saw like a 2-year-old playing with like toys, or like he was just moving around on the floor, like crawling around. And I guess he had a brother that drowned, a little baby brother that drowned in a pool. Like that's why they stopped doing the daycare center.
Dang.
So not having any knowledge of him having, you know what I mean?
I think that, look at man, I think
What
people
do you
could,
call that?
I think people could slip into unconscious states, like while they're awake. In fact, that's what that book hypothesizes or is suggesting that schizophrenia is that when you're just like in an unconscious state you can't break while you're awake. More than that, they think that that dude seems to be suggesting that like you're accessing the collective unconscious like when you're awake. You know, I told you about like that dude who sees like the dick on the sun, right?
Mm-hmm.
All right, I told you.
What?
Have I told you guys that?
No.
So there's a patient who stares at the sun like day in and day out.
That guy's probably fucking completely blind now.
Probably, but at this point during this story, he's not. So he's like looking at the sun, and finally the doctor just says, "Hey man, like what's up? Why are you looking at the sun?" He's like, "Because I'm looking at his dick." And think about it, like in every mythology, like any like mythology that deifies the sun's a man, right? And it's a king. So
Yeah. Is it?
that's it. That's it. Like it's a man. A man has a dick. Like
Yeah.
Did you get the
Has
point
a
of the
dick.
story though? I'm saying that
Yeah,
guy
I
had
get it, I
no.
get it. No, but I'm saying is that he might be like a. Oh wait, I'm sorry. So it wasn't Anthony Garcia. It wasn't
No,
Anthony
no, so-
Garcia's.
This was his close friend though, like that had a daycare center, and this other guy named Johnny or whatever, like he was going by the house, like you know, he was just hanging out with his friend,
Uh-huh.
the one who owned the house, and he passed by the room, and he said, "Hey, dude," and like he wasn't freaked. He's like, "I didn't know you had a younger brother," and then he ran back. He said, "What are you talking about?" And he checked the room, like nothing was in there, and he just saw like a kid like just kind of playing like on the ground.
Damn.
He knew nothing of that story. Like he told him, he was like breaking down after it because they had a pool in the back. Yeah. So that's what I'm saying. If you have no history of knowing, oh, this person had, you know, a brother, then you find that out like that, and you thought you calmly saw, you know what I mean? Like, what is that?
I mean, I can't explain it, dude. I mean, maybe Billy's right. Maybe places do have that kind of thing, you know?
Like
Maybe
the
there
energy,
is.
right?
Like The Shining, you know how they say like there's
Shining.
places, you know how they say like in The Shining, like there's people can shine and places can shine.
Yeah, like bright like a diamond. Yeah.
Yeah, you crazy diamond.
Goes out to Rihanna.
Well,
Love you, bitch.
It's a good song. I didn't like that song until that like big fat guy sang it.
Oh yeah.
What?
He fucking sang it really well, dude. He fucking made me like
Yeah,
that
I
song.
look like a ghost right now. Look.
Big fat guy.
Oh my god, he's
Crazy.
phasing it through realities.
Oh, no.
Frank, you should check out this thing called Flat World.
Oh, I know what that is. I
You
mean,
know
talking
what
about
it
the
is?
theory,
Huh?
the theory of a flat world or a flat Earth.
No. It's pretty much what you're saying, like spun on its head. Like what you're saying is that like ghosts could be extra dimensional beings, right?
Mm-hmm.
So they're saying like imagine there's a 2D world and you're a 3D creature, which is what we are.
Imagine there's
Oh,
a
yeah.
2D world.
You've seen that, right?
Yeah, I think I've seen something like that where they're talking about like the way 2D would perceive us, they wouldn't be able to fully perceive us in the same way as like how 4D would, like a four-dimensional.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean,
How
maybe
we would
that's what it
perceive the
is.
fourth
Man.
dimension is, but they say it's like we would perceive it as time, right, or something.
Well, I think we are passing through time. We're like fourth dimensional beings. I think time is always, as long as there's space, like there's space to do shit, like you move like in a certain direction, time is always there. So it should always be like part of the dimension. But maybe there's like creatures who can like move forward and back through time.
I think
I don't
that's a
know.
possibility. Like maybe they're able to see it as like one. I really like what they did in Interstellar. How they, like, it's kind of
That's what
crazy.
that was, yeah.
You know, at the end when he goes through the black hole and then like you kind of see like infinite of the same things, but like
Yeah.
in reality it'd be much more intense than that. Like you can't even fathom it, like because even what he saw was still a finite part of Infinity. You know what I mean? But like that's kind of the only way they could have expressed that. I think they did a pretty good job.
Explained it best, dude. Endgame, you can't go back in time because that's technically not the past. That's your future. Okay. End of discussion. All right.
All right.
I just saw that movie.
It's fucking
That's
awesome.
Yeah, it's a good movie. I like Infinity War more though.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
like them both. I watched
Oh,
Endgame.
wow, that's way better.
I watched Infinity War, but like I couldn't find it, so I just watched Endgame, and it's like this shit's sad. The score of it's really good too.
I'll pay attention to it more. I think I
Oh,
just like it. I just like Infinity
that's
War,
fun.
dude. I think Thanos is a good guy. I totally agree with Thanos.
That we should kill half the people on the planet
Yes, that's kind of happening now, honestly.
with a virus.
Yeah.
But making a choice to do it seems much more severe than it happening around us and just accepting it.
Yeah, yeah. You know, when Bill Burr talks, you guys listen to Bill Burr, right? Like,
Mm-mm.
well, he has like bits. He has consecutive bits, like for almost every special. He like complains about the population, and he says we need like a virus or like
Oh.
something to like burn through us.
Looks like they got what they wanted.
I know it now. It's like happening, you know.
Yeah.
He's like, fuck. You just fucking.
Naturally.
I called it. I fucking called it. I told you. These dumb idiots are walking down the street wearing these, not wearing masks, and yeah, you know, you deserve to die. You're fucking idiots.
Damn, I thought Bill Burr was like in the podcast for a moment.
I'm going bald, so I'm pretty close to that.
Not dude, the Rogain's working, dude.
Yeah, it is working. It's fucking awesome. I love it.
Nice, dude.
My shit's working too, dude. Look at this shit.
Oh yeah, you're using the same shit I'm using, the Rogaine, right?
Looks
Yeah.
like-
This podcast is brought to you by Rogaine. We all use
Rogaine.
Rogaine.
No, it's good.
Everyone knows
I
it's
think
Rogaine.
Jared's Rogaine is working. Really good.
Yeah, dude, he's fucking on it, dude. Look at that.
Oh yeah. What's up?
You and Jared.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, dude.
Oh, Frank.
I know
This
this,
is by the great Joe
Dude.
Rogan.
this shit's getting crazy. Yours is way more curlier than mine. Mine's
You got
getting
curly
curly.
hair.
Yeah, it's starting to become curly. When it gets long, it gets curly.
So can I ask you guys, do you guys want ghosts to exist? Like, is it like a desire?
Yeah,
I think that's really what it comes down to. I
I
feel
think
like
I just want to know. I mean, I'm cool with it either way.
it's
I like
just
it.
I don't know. Part of it doesn't make sense to me though. Like it does and it doesn't. So it's like what is it like? What would that experience be like for a ghost and a real? Is it like is it you? What's the point of living if you're not gonna actually die? Like it's like running a race with no finish line. You know what I mean?
well, that's like the point of like the ghosts though. Is like there's a purpose behind them being ghosts. Like some of them have unfinished business. Like
Yeah.
past-
That seems to be like the
I don't
theory,
know,
right?
but then I heard something else. That,
Yeah, like dude, like people, like they say that ghosts, they don't know. Like a lot of them don't know that they died.
They're not. Yeah, that's like the common thing I hear too. Is like they're not accepting it, right?
Did you guys ever watch Supernatural?
No.
The TV
A
show.
little bit.
Yeah. It's like
Yeah.
these two guys that kind of go out and they do like they take care of supernatural activity. Like and there's a bunch of shit, but like in the beginning it was really cool, like because it was just like they dealt with ghosts that were exactly that. Like they didn't know they died and they would like terrorize people without fully being aware of it or sometimes being aware of it. But their objective was to find out how to help them pass on. And I thought that was super rad because it's like.
Oh yeah, I think I have seen it.
Yeah, they even they made an animated thing too. Like, did you guys ever watch like that Batman movie where it's like a bunch of animated shorts that were like different animators? That shit's awesome.
I think I did. Yeah.
That
I
shit's
think I
bad.
watched it with you, maybe.
Oh yeah, maybe yeah. And then they made one for Halo too, but they also made one for Supernatural, which is why I got into the show because I watched that first. And then I haven't watched it in years, but like I've always found that kind of interesting because like they would be having a conversation with a person that they thought was just like another person, and then they find out later like you're the spirit, like and they're like what are you talking about? Like, I'm not dead. Like
Look,
like yeah,
That's
you are.
like Sixth Sense.
Can I-
A Sixth Sense sort of a thing too.
yeah.
can I tell you guys another story?
Yeah, sure.
All right.
Oh, we got 15 minutes.
Yeah.
That's exactly what I was gonna say.
No, I'm just kidding, man. I'm just kidding.
Oh yeah, where are we at right now?
Give us I don't know.
I don't think it tells us. Oh, who cares? We can cut it if we need to.
Give us the bullet points.
Like we can cut the show in pieces.
No, I'm just kidding, man.
Give us the cliff notes.
Now, Jude, I haven't knows this story, but my dad's side of the family, they've always been prone to having experiences or whatever, Jude. But it's something that everyone, like my father, my uncle, my aunts, my grandparents, and like just like their extended family always talk about is the house where my dad grew up. You know, the house where my dad spent his childhood. In Mexico, G, like we had something similar to a Spanish Inquisition, where if you were Catholic, G, like you were persecuted and like fucking killed. You know?
Was like the War of Cristeros or something?
Yeah, Los Cristeros, yeah. It was pretty much like a Spanish Inquisition. And so like priests and nuns and just Catholics in general were being persecuted really bad. And the neighborhood where my dad grew up in Mexico is one of the oldest neighborhoods in the city. Like it's really, really fucking old. And the church there, it's one of the oldest ones in the city too. So it's overall like a very, very old neighborhood. And something weird that happens in that house is that the fucking kitchen sinks. Like it starts sinking and sinking and sinking. And they like once every 2 or 3 years, they have to pump cement into it to kind of like lift it up, you know? And the thing is that house is built on, in Spanish, it's called noria, which is like a natural water spring thing. It's like a vertical cave that ends in like this like pool of water, but it's natural. And there's like a shitload of those things in Mexico. And but this house apparently was built on top of that, and the kitchen is directly on top of the cave, you know? That's why it sinks. And during the time where Catholics were being persecuted, like these places, like these vertical caves were a popular place to just dump the bodies, you know?
Yikes.
And I'm telling you, like this house was literally like 2 blocks from like the church, from the temple. So, but anyways, like that's where my dad and his brothers and sisters like spent their childhood years, right? And they had my grandfather's sister, was gifted a Ouija board. Like somebody gave her a Ouija board, you know, and they started playing it around the house. And I remember my grandma telling like crazy stories that happened to her while she was playing the Ouija board. Same thing with my aunt, and like just shit like that, you know. But and and also like during this time when they started playing the Ouija board, like they started like noticing things around the house, like shadows or whatever, like typical poltergeist bullshit. But the thing is, like shit gets really real when somebody tells my grandfather's sister, my great aunt, that in order for the Ouija board to have more power, you had to have it blessed by a priest, you know? So I'm like, of course, you're like, who the fuck? Like, what kind of priest is gonna bless a Ouija board? So what my aunt did, she fucking took a poster of a saint and just put it on top of the board, and she took it to the church to have it blessed. And they did bless it, you know?
Uh-oh.
And like after that, it's when shit started like getting like bad, apparently, you know? And like a lot of shit happened for many years, dude. But two of the stories that kind of like shocked me when I heard them was that in the very back of the house they had like a patio, right? No grass, just like a patio. And in the middle of the patio they had like this fucking huge tree, right? And apparently the kitchen leads into this backyard. And everyone, like my dad, my grandma, his cousins, his siblings, everyone, tells the same story because it happened a lot, apparently. Like it happened like every other day. When the church bells would ring 6 o'clock, like right when it's ringing, like the 6 bell rings, they said that this figure of an old lady, like this shadow of an old lady, would come out of the ground, and they could see the shadow on the fucking wall, G, like walking around the yard, the patio, G, while the church bells ring 6 p.m. And then right at the last bell ring, she would just fucking vanish. And everyone saw this, G. Like a lot of people saw this, like my father's cousins, his siblings, and everyone tells exactly the same story. So that was one, G. Another one was so my great aunt, the one that had the Ouija board, she was like a nurse or something, like she worked at a hospital. And one time she came back from her shift, and my uncle, my dad's younger brother, he was a baby. So he was just walking around in one of those walker things for babies. And when my aunt came into the house, she saw my uncle, like right there in the, like right as she opened the door, she saw my baby uncle just playing around. So she kind of like stopped and like played with him a little bit or whatever. And then she went into the kitchen. And as soon as she got to the kitchen, she saw my grandma feeding my uncle.
Uh-huh.
Does that make sense? Like, apparently, like a ghost or a spirit took my uncle's appearance.
You like
Does that make
like
sense?
a Mission Impossible and fucking did a
She
face
saw the
mask,
same.
like-
Okay, so yeah, she fucking opened the door and she saw my baby uncle, and then she said hi and she was playing with them or whatever. And then she stood up, went into the kitchen. As soon as she got to the kitchen, she saw my uncle again. That was being like my grandma was feeding my uncle. He was a baby. So that also shocked me. And
that makes a lot of sense. What do you mean?
Huh?
That makes total sense.
Okay. Well, anyways, well, yeah, dude, like those are just two of the crazy shit that happened in that house. When my dad and his family moved out of that house, my grandfather's brother took over that house, and he pretty much lived there until the day he died. And I remember, because I grew up listening to these stories, right? Hearing these stories and like getting spooked out by these stories or whatever. And I remember when I was in middle school, I was failing math, right? And my uncle, the one that's living in this house now, he's like a college math professor, right? And my dad had the idea that he should fucking tutor me in middle school algebra. So like he would take me there once or twice a week for like 2 or 3 hours every day. And it was just me and my uncle, you know? And I was in middle school, dude, and I remember the first time I went into that house, dude, I was so fucking scared, dude. Just because of everything that I heard growing up, you know? And I go in, and I'm looking around the house, and I noticed that on one of the walls, there's like an eye painted with white paint on the wall, right? Like just, it looked like a kid fucking drew it. And it's an eye, had like eyelashes and shit. And whatever. The next time I go, I noticed that the eye is not in the same spot. It's now on a window. It's the same eye. It's just not in the same wall. It's on a fucking window. And I was like, what the fuck? I didn't fucking say anything, you know? And then the third time, like later I went back again, and the eye was not on the wall, and it was not on the fucking on the window. It was on the fucking tree, like straight up. It was on the tree, same eye. And like that's when I asked my uncle. I was like, gee, like what's up with that eye? You know, like I saw it, like it was over here the other day, and he was just like, yeah, I don't know what's up with that shit. Like we try to paint it, and then when the paint dries, the fucking eye comes back up again, like it goes through the paint. And like it just fucking switches. It switches all the time. And then when I brought that up to my dad, he told me like, yeah, like that shit's been there since forever.
That's fucking weird.
That's crazy.
Yeah. That's it.
Do you believe him? What the fuck is that? Is that your car, Anthony?
What?
Is that your car?
It might have been on my end.
Oh,
I'm like right next to the street. I
gotcha.
heard
If
that
I
from-
believe him, dude,
Yeah.
yeah, I believe in just mostly because everyone in that side, everyone on my dad's side of the family had an experience there, and most of them, the majority of them, were shared experiences. You know, like I remember my grandpa telling the story about one night that one of my aunts was sick. She was like 2 years old or something, and she was very sick. And so one night, my grandpa, my grandma, and my aunt were sleeping on the same bed. And in the middle of the night, my aunt woke up crying. And when my grandparents woke up, they felt that something was pulling on their bed sheets, like really pulling them. And then my grandpa and my grandma were pulling back on the fucking bed sheets. And then it's just like a big tug, G, like just like, and the fucking bed sheet just went flying. And both my grandparents tell the same story.
Jeez.
But yeah, G, like it's just fucking nuts. Like that house is fucking nuts. I've never had an experience there. I think it's mostly just been like me scaring myself, remembering like all the stories and everything.
Probably.
But I don't doubt that shit goes on there, you know?
Who knows?
What do you guys think about the ghosts that appear always at the same time every day, like the reoccurring? It's like, what's the theory behind that?
I didn't even know that was a thing.
Like, just like kind of what he said, like about 6 o'clock, bells ring, and they see like a ghost walking around. You hear about stories like that like everywhere. You know, there's one they said in
Something significant that happens in their lives. I mean,
I wonder if that's them. So say if there are ghosts and that's just part of their ghost that just does that, or are they doing that every day? You know what I mean?
Well, they said that this ghost, she wouldn't appear every day. Like sometimes it would be like a week without her like showing up, and then it could be like 2 or 3 times a week. But it was like recurrent. It was all the fucking time that it would happen. And like my dad's friends would see it. Like the kids that lived on the block would see it. You know? And like, no, it wasn't just that house though. Like their neighbors had paranormal shit going on, and like other houses had shit going on.
Dude, when people get possessed by the Holy Spirit, is that real?
No,
No?
I don't think so.
possessed by the Holy Spirit.
They go all fucking crazy.
Yeah.
My
People
mind
that speak in tongues. What about
Yeah.
people that speak in
it's
tongues
just
and
like
all
one
that?
of those things that if you're in the moment, maybe you're like, oh, I think I do feel something. And then just
I'm gonna show you guys this fucking
there's
video.
other
It's
acting.
so
I don't know.
funny.
Have you guys seen?
So that's not real. Yeah, everything else is real.
Have you seen it? Oh,
Think
sorry.
about that. Just think about that.
My thought what are we looking at?
I'm gonna fucking show you guys a video.
Billy, you look so scared when Milo was telling us the story.
I was fucking way scared, dude.
You-
Check this out.
Not that scared though, because I got these busters behind me.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, you guys are fighting Kabosh. Yeah,
Put that shit to metal music. Where's the one with like other?
Yeah.
That dude looks like Vince McMahon.
Shit, dude.
Too hot. Too hot.
Too Beach.
That'd be great, dude. That'd be
Yeah, I
great.
really would.
Nah, this needs to be
wanna-
faster
I want
paced.
to go to that
This should
trip.
be like death metal,
Oh my god, gee.
like blast beat
Fun,
shit.
It looks like they're
But listen to my reasoning. This is all happening collectively, dude.
Pretty awesome, dude.
So that's not real, but all that collective shit you guys are talking about is totally real.
Maybe, I don't know. I literally think just who knows? Who fucking knows any of this shit? Like,
Nobody
I
really
bet.
knows it.
Yeah, I guess nobody really knows, but I'm leaning
Maybe
more
it's
towards no.
sarcastic, but it's true. Nobody really knows. Like,
Yeah, but you guys lean more to yes, it seems.
I do.
But
I don't
I lean more towards no.
it's a real thing. It just I don't go to church. I don't know, but like one thing that's like, kind of crazy too is like when you think about when someone does like let's say something really did happen, like who would believe them? Like I probably wouldn't. Like initially, someone would tell me like I fucking saw this. Like Nigel, you say this, like I wasn't there, so I don't know. And like Ivan was saying too, like he's explained there's reason to it, like, but like that could be a thing too, where if this shit does happen, like who's, you know, let's say we did fucking do the Ouija board thing and we fucking got visited by Bernie Mac, like who would believe? No one would believe it. Like it would stay within the realm of people, no one else. Everyone we tell, like, they're like, oh, that's crazy, but they wouldn't change their lives at all. Like,
We should just do that and then come back on the podcast and just talk about it.
I'm down.
Yeah,
Talk about our
yeah.
experiences.
We
Fucking
could
down.
just.
Let's do it. Let's
Why
do
don't we
it.
just?
That'd be-
Okay.
Look,
Why don't we?
that's what it would take for me to believe in a ghost. It's for
We
me
should
to
record
fucking
it.
see one.
We should fucking
Yeah,
go.
we can
We should
record
go ghost hunting, record it, like
That-
edit it, and then come back and talk about it.
This is a Grandma's Breakfast Graveyard podcast.
No, but like honestly, dude, like what would be a good place to go ghost hunting here?
Dude, look, I suggest we go to the most haunted place we can find, bring a Luigi board, and fucking work that shit.
Yeah, have you
What would that place be
Down.
here?
have you
I
have
don't
you
know.
Like,
Gravity Hill?
Oh, yeah, that's a thing.
Any of you
Gallister Park.
Yeah. That'd be cool. I'm down.
Gallister?
if we really wanted to go all out, it'd be San Diego, this hotel where apparently like a lot of the rooms are haunted and you're able to stay in there.
Let's go. Let's do it.
Dude, what about the Cecil Hotel?
The what?
Whatever it's called now.
Is that the one where the
Where Lisa Lamb died?
Yeah.
No. Is that what it's called? What is it called?
Well,
Oh, the Four Seasons, huh?
It was called the Cecil.
Cecil? Is it the Four Seasons? No, the Four Seasons is a bigger one, huh?
It's like right there next to Skid Row.
Yeah.
Oh,
I'm down to
shit,
go.
Skid Row.
I'm totally down to go.
Or like, is there like a haunted place around here?
Well, that's around here.
There's like something in Riverside I heard where like a house burned down and ladies' kids were in there. And
Have you guys heard of Gravity Hill?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Is that
Let's
real?
grab it. I haven't.
You know, like my dad told me about it, but like I didn't, never been there. I don't know if you guys have any experiences there or not.
What happens when you go to Gravity Hill?
What is?
Supposed to
Yeah.
be
What's that
park your
place?
car.
Gravity affects you.
that's
Yeah.
a fucking show, dude. Don't listen to him.
Where the fucking car moves.
Get us again, dude.
Talking about Gravity Falls.
Oh,
Show, dude.
The
Hey,
fucking
Gravity
place-
Falls is great.
Oh, Gravity Falls, my bad.
I fucking love that
Gravity
shit.
There's a place like that. There's a place like that in San Antonio, but there's like a legend around that spot. It's called the Haunted Tracks, and it's like there's a school bus full of kids that got stopped. Like
That's it. That's exactly that's a legend here. That's a
really?
Yeah, already. That's
Oh,
exactly.
there you go, dude. There you
That's
go.
what happened.
It's the same
You're supposed to
story,
throw-
just recycled.
You're supposed to throw powder on the back of the car, right? And you're supposed to see
Yeah.
little hands. Like,
Oh my god,
That's so
dude.
stupid, dude.
dude, have you guys seen the Street Fighter, the Church Edition?
No,
Yeah, where they fucking throw the tokens.
So funny. I'll show you.
gotta pull that shit up.
Pull that up, Jamie.
Okay. So the believers here are Anthony and Nigel. It seems like
Shut up.
it seems like Billy, Frank, and Jared are reserving judgment, and I'm a hard no.
Pretty much, yeah.
Yeah, I think you got that. Yeah,
It's pretty balanced, I think.
Yeah.
All right.
we need to do some research ourselves. That's fine, man.
I'd like to
Yeah,
believe
I'm
it.
down. I'm down.
That's the same thing. Like,
Jesus Christ.
Round one, fight!
Oh my god, dude.
look at all those actors.
Perfect.
Oh my
You
god,
win.
dude.
Hello.
Japan.
It's so stupid.
Round one, fight!
Oh, look, this guy's a fucking non-believer right there. You see him?
Round two,
Yeah, he's like, fuck
Fight.
that.
I'm not false.
you win.
Oh my god, dude.
USA.
Or-
One more.
Round one,
I think we get it. We
Fight.
get it.
Oh, I want to see the next one.
All right.
Really?
Check this
Alright.
out. Just really quick,
Cool.
G. It's like a 6-second one.
Alright.
It's so
Oh
funny.
my god. Oh,
Ah!
this guy's comparison.
Wait, I missed that. Play that again.
Oh wait, hold on.
Oh my god, dude, that's
It's
so
just
good.
Second too.
Just the fucking logo in the back.
There's a new character approaching. New
Oh
challenge.
my god.
Oh damn, what's up with this?
Justifies the competition.
Weakest Smash character.
Mm. All right.
Mm.
That's fucking
I'm
funny.
all excited.
I've been.
Hackety hackety.
Haggity, haggity.
All right, I'm gonna go because I'm gonna poop.
No.
All right.
Poop
Yeah, I gotta
time,
get
y'all.
going too.
Record
I'm
it.
hungry. I want food.
And so we end with a poop.
Can you record it? Can you just do it? Take the computer
dude.
with you.
I always track
Show
all my
us your
poop
poop.
on my poop cast.
Show us your poop.
Your poop cast.
Poop gas here with Billy.
I had a question about this podcast thing. Did you guys want some like theme music?
Bill, yeah, you guys can talk about
for
it.
Like just music for like
Yeah.
an intro or something.
Be great. It'd be
Fucking
great.
sick.
That'd be awesome. We didn't
Yeah.
promote anything to when we started this time, so.
I feel like you should use Jasper Stooge to promote it. To promote the
he's right
podcast.
here.
I think Jasper should MC like everything we do. So like when we do like a 626 session, we should have Jasper MC it.
I'm down to MC. I'm down for that. And then after that, maybe we could play some donuts together.
Jasper's like, he's like, not Elmo. What's his,
Elmo.
You're like
Cookie Monster.
Elmo. You call me Elmo?
You're like Cookie
Who's-
Monster's like
who's-
black cousin or something.
Yeah, who the skinny
Whoa,
blue guy,
dude.
right?
Oh,
I know who you're talking about.
Grover. Grover.
Oh yeah, that's his name. Yeah, Grover.
Wait,
Grover.
he already has one? Really? There's a
Huh?
black
I'm
cousin?
Jasper. I
Dude, what
ain't
happened to his tongue?
Elmo. I'm no Grover. I ain't no Kermit the Frog. I'm Jasper. Get that right.
Did you get your tongue cut out?
Jasper, what do you think about ghosts?
Ghost. I am a ghost. I'm a ghost. I'm the ghost of Scary.
Shit, dude. This is fucking some deep shit that just got revealed.
I'm a ghost. Everyone thinks I'm a puppet, but I don't believe in puppets. I believe in ghosts though, because I am one.
What
Wait.
happened to Skiwi?
You
Jasper?
are a flying head.
You-
Jasper, what happened to Skiwi?
I can't reveal that information because it might send me, it might take me to prison. So that's
They have ghost prisons?
well, of course they do. What do you think?
Oh.
What do you think being a ghost is?
Oh, I'm
It's
sorry,
its own-
dude. I'm
its own
ignorant.
prison.
Sorry, I'm not a ghost.
That's
don't
where
know
Ivan's
these
logic
things.
falls. Like he doesn't know what it's like to be a
You
ghost.
know what, guys?
Yeah.
I'm not really a ghost.
You're just like a ghost, but
What?
not an actual ghost.
But yeah, short story long. I just want to get my donut glaze at the end of the day. I mean, if you guys are down,
You mentioned that last time that you liked donut glazing. You like your donuts glazed.
What happens if your donut's not glazed? Is that how they keep you in the mortal realm?
you know, I just go mad. I just go insane, man.
It's
I can't,
understandable.
you know, frustrated, you know.
What's your favorite kind of glazing? I never asked you that.
Oh, no.
Donut glazing.
Yeah, but like what flavor?
Oh, well, of course.
What flavor of glaze?
He wants it cream.
What glaze flavor?
Glazed.
Just like
is a
sugar
flavor, right?
glaze.
Glaze flavor.
You saying
No,
the
dude, there's
sprinkles
like
suck, right?
strawberry. There's like strawberry
Yeah,
glaze.
Glazed donut.
That's considered glazed too.
I think the next
Sexual.
topic,
Yeah.
I think the next topic should be about donut glazing.
All right.
Dude, I was
Dude.
like with this chick the other day and fucking donut glaze. No,
I glazed her
that's
donuts.
what it sounds like, dude. Like,
I glazed both of her donuts.
I glazed both of her donuts. Wait, why did she have two?
They both kind of look like donuts. One looks more like a donut than the other.
And we just got kicked off YouTube.
Hell yeah, we did.
Hey, so next time, do we have you guys want to guess since we all kind of went or what?
I guess we'll have a guess.
What do we get?
Jared didn't go. Jared didn't go. Oh, Jared
Yeah.
did go.
Yeah, Jared was the first one.
What do we get? What do we get? A guest that can come up with like a topic.
Topic. I'm down.
Who do you guys
Hey,
want?
I also didn't get last week's session. I think Frank had it right.
I uploaded it. Yeah.
Oh, you did?
Mhm.
To the.
Oh, shit,
cool.
dude. What'd you call it?
I didn't call it anything. I didn't upload it to YouTube. I uploaded it to the drive, but I guess I should have just put it to YouTube.
Just,
Yeah,
Did you upload it to Zencaster?
No, is it the same information?
Yeah, everything's
Oh
the same.
shit. Okay. Yeah. Sorry, I just
Yeah, that's cool, man.
got put on some projectos last week. I got a
Lucky.
little
dude, you always get put on projectos, dude.
project.
Projectos
Dude.
today, projectos tomorrow. When
I'm a
is there
busy
not
guy.
gonna be projectos?
I stay busy, man. I gotta stay busy. I gotta stay
You're fucking
working.
busy right now, dude. You could be putting on Zencast as we speak, dude, and you're fucking chilling in
I need food. My brain is not. It's not gonna function. I need to eat.
Cool.
Yeah, why don't you glaze your brain again, dude?
I need to eat some glazed donuts. Those look good.
Talking
Those are
about.
fucking good. Those are the good ones.
Those are the bomb ones.
Mm,
With coffee.
Dude, what's the best donut spot?
The donut
Donut
man.
bread, dude.
This donut spot.
Donut Man? Yeah.
Nah, I don't know if it's. the
Yeah,
best.
I don't really like Donut Man as much either. I like
Oh,
Donut
really?
Hole.
I feel like it used to be a lot better.
I feel
Donut
like
Hole
most
over
donut
here.
places are cool. Like, if
You
you
ever
just-
had those Tiger Tails?
Where at the Donut Hole?
I think it's on what's that place on Route 66?
That's the
that's
donut
the
man.
Donut Man.
man.
That's the donut man. They
I feel
got
like
some
they
called,
sell
they
them.
got some shit called Tiger Tails.
Oh,
Is it made of real tiger tails?
Bomb.
is that donut man?
This is. Yeah, they're good. I just think they're like more than donuts. Like they're like.
I like Donut Friend.
Donut bread
what
is
is that?
fucking good. It's the one in Eagle Rock. Remember I bought like
Yeah, that's what I was gonna just bring up.
they have like this donut, dude, with like some it's like cream feeling, and
Actually, no.
they
Yeah,
fucking
some
glaze it with like
cream-filled donuts,
maple.
That's right here.
Ivan, is that the ghost from fucking the Casper animated thing?
Yeah,
That like the boss?
yeah, it's Kabosh.
What's his fucking name?
I think his name is Kabosh or Kabosh or something like that.
Really?
Yeah,
Dude.
Kabosh. Yeah,
That's a dumb-
Kabosh.
Wow.
Kibosh.
that's
It's
that's
all
seaweed. That's Jasper's final form.
The Bausch.
That's his self-actualized form.
Whoa!
That's my final form.
Hey,
That's what I've evolved into.
That's what he's becoming.
I'm not looking forward to that. The left.
All right,
Hey guys, I'm about to walk into work. I will
Alright,
see
dude.
you guys later.
all right, bro. I'll see you, man.
let's just end it all right now. I'm fucking gonna end it.
All
Fuck it
right.
all.
My head is half missing now, guys. Oh, my brain. Oh.
All right. I'm gonna end it, my friends. Wait, so yeah, I'll text you guys.
Doses.
That's some outro music.
Peace out, y'all.
Thank y'all for
Bye.
tuning
Bye.
in. Grandma's breakfast about to be grandma's lunch right now. Frank, I guess he just